Well, hello everyone. I thought I would give you guys a little update and give you some pointers on this intake for the 4.6 Ford motor from 2002 and up. Now, a lot of these motors sort of changed a little bit in 02. And I'll show you one thing that they did make a change on. They moved my new intake out of the way. And the first thing you probably notice when you pull off one of these intakes is you notice that there's a tube right here that's kind of running off to the side from the water pump. And you got these two bolts right there. Those are actually knock sensors. Now, from 2002 on up, they have this. Now, beyond that, say from the 90s on up to 2001, all this stuff is missing, so you have all this room down here you don't have to worry about when you put in an intake like this. Now, this is my new intake. If you look closely, you will see, if I set it up here, if I can do this with one hand, how narrow this centerpiece is. And this will allow it, right here, will allow it to kind of sit down in there between that pipe and those bolts. Now, my old intake that I took out, I walk over here. It's sitting right here. It was leaking. It had a problem with the gasket in it. And you can see it's real narrow too. It kind of sits down in there. Now, when I went out to the salvage yard and bought, being Mr. Smarty, I thought it would work. Well, it would not. See how wide this is at the bottom? That would not fit down in between the nuts on those knock sensors and that return line on the water pump. So obviously this one would not work. Although it is a very good very good intake. I'll probably just end up reselling it. But all I gotta do now is put my injectors on the new one and put in my two nipples for my water hoses, which are right there. And I will be able to go ahead and stick this in. And I think on this one here, the old gaskets that were on it were leaking on the back side. If I take this out in the light, you will probably be able to see the crack. If I shine the camera right there, this is where my unit was leaking. Some of the moisture was getting into the engine, and when I would take the oil cap off to put oil in, I would see a little bit of white residue, milky substance, and I could not get away from that. It was just continuous. I decided to go ahead and put new gaskets on it. Figured it would help it out. And my new gaskets, the old gaskets I should say, that I used are right here. And they are a different style gasket. You can see they're all one piece. And of course, I think right there's where I put a little bit of extra silicone on it. Didn't help, it still leaked. So I ran it for a while like that until I just got to a point I said, well, it's time to buy another intake. And so there's what I did. And you can see here's another intake that I had earlier. It worked. It set in there. See, it's narrow at the bottom, but it had a leak too. It was leaking on the back too. And I think if you look closely, see that crack right there? That one was cracked too. So a lot of these plastic intakes, they have that issue. So my new one over here that I'm getting ready to put in, I think I paid $139 on eBay for it. There's a lot of guys, a lot of dealers on there. You can buy these. You have to be careful and make sure you get the one that's narrow like this that will fit down in there. Now, if this pipe from the water pump and those two bolts are not there, then you can buy the bigger one like I showed you in there, and it'll work in there. But you got to kind of be careful about that. And they talk about the heated PVC valve. My engine does not have it. They're talking about a PVC valve that runs over here on the valve cover. I can see my hand. There it is. I don't know if it's on this side or this side. There's two electric wires that will go to it. And that is how you know you have a heated PVC valve. Now, I have a hose that goes over to this nipple right here. It goes up to the throttle body. But that is no issue. That is not called a heated PVC valve. I'm not sure what they even call it. But it was a little confusing there. So I know this one will work. But I want to give you an update. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in here. It should take me about an hour. Very windy out here today for March. It's about 75 degrees. Crazy on March 16th. So hopefully I won't get blown away here. But that's it. I just want to make a quick video of you guys and for you guys and show you if you're having this issue. And this may save you some time. Don't go out and buy the wrong intake like I did. But I did a lot of research before I bought this one online and made sure it works. Just make sure when you buy it, it says it will fit the 4.6 2002 and up, and you won't have any issue. And one other quick note, this one has the updated crossover right here, this metal piece. A lot of these would get really hot and it would melt, and it would cause a leak, and the gaskets just wouldn't hold. If you look real close, you can see these gaskets are kind of raised up. So when that goes on there, it's going to seal really good. This is the second one I've installed. I installed another one on an 04 Mountaineer. I'm sorry, an 02 Mountaineer that I had. This particular engine's an 04. They're all basically all the same. All right, that's it from here. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much, and that'll do it for the video. So hopefully this will help you guys out. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Oh, by the way, I did want to tell you, when you do buy a new intake like I did, they do give you a bracket, and they give you a thermostat. I don't know if you can see that. You get some bolts, some extra pieces. Sometimes these brackets, they're not, the intake are is a little higher than the original, the factory one, and you have to put a spacer in there for that bracket for the alternator. So, yeah, they give you some things there. I almost forgot to tell you that. And that way you'll hopefully won't have any issues.